My name is Michael Gramm, and I'm here to show you how to replace the tail on your Nano CPX. To start out, the first thing we're going to do is remove the canopy. So after we have removed the canopy, the first thing we're going to do is take off the right aileron swashplate linkage. I'm going to remove that and set that aside. This is so that you don't have to worry about the tail motor wires getting caught around the linkage. It makes things a little bit easier for you. Next, I'm going to use my needle nose pliers because my hands are a little big, and I'm going to very carefully remove the motor connector, the tail motor connector from the board. Now you'll see that there's a little bit of white glue to hold the connector in place. When you're done repairing the tail boom, or replacing the tail boom with your Nano CPX, I highly recommend that you put a dab of white glue on this connector to ensure that it doesn't come out in flight. So I'm going to very carefully pull the connector out of the board. And then at this point I'm going to use my hands, and I'm going to unwrap the wire from the canopy mount. And at this point in time, I'm going to move the wire towards the back of the helicopter. Now, to remove the tail boom, all you have to do is simply hold the back of the helicopter with one hand, and then hold the tail boom with the other, and very carefully pull them apart. And the tail boom will slide right out. Set aside your damaged tail boom and grab your new one. And in similar fashion, you want to very carefully take the tail boom and slide it into the main frame of the Nano CPX. Now you want to make sure that the wire for the tail boom is on the top of the tail boom when you try to push it back into the frame. If you look inside the frame, you'll see that the tail boom hole has a bit of a key. This little notch here is for the wires. All right, and also you want to make sure that when you reinstall the boom, that the tail motor is perpendicular. The shaft of the tail motor is perpendicular to the main shaft of the helicopter. So I'm going to slide my new boom back in place. And you want to push it until you can start to see the edge of the boom come through on the other side. You don't want to push it all the way through. But when you can start to see the boom on the other side through the frame here, then you know you've gone far enough. Next thing we're going to do is going to take the wire and we're going to wrap it once around the canopy mount. And then I'm going to use our needle nose pliers and attach the connector to the main board. Now be careful of polarity. The green wire needs to be on the outside. At this point in time, this is when you would apply a dab of white glue to ensure that the connector stays in place when you're flying. Then take the linkage that you removed, put it back on the servo in the top hole, and then attach the linkage to the swash plate. And finally, simply mount the canopy. Now, that is how you replace the tail boom on your Nano CPX.